Okay, so appointment of vice chair. Should I have my twin sister be that? No? I know that a lot of people are all stretched thin, so I'm not sure how we work that.
Who's not here?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jordan. Yeah, he's not
That
here.
always works.
Anyway, don't look at me.
I know, I'm not looking at you. David's pretending not to hear. No. Yeah, I guess we do need, maybe we can table that till next month. Tom, David, what's the rule with that?
Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, if you don't
Okay.
have anybody here, I think you need to
Right.
talk to whoever's not here and see if you can find somebody who's willing to serve in that.
Right. Or not willing to serve. Oh. Okay, we're gonna table that till somebody suitable comes along. Not that everyone isn't suitable. It has the right amount of time, is what I mean to say. Acceptance of previous minutes. I don't remember even reading those, but did people read the minutes? And do they accept them? Barry is nodding.
I wasn't there, so.
Okay. Eric, did you read the minutes?
No,
No.
I don't even recall getting them, to tell you the truth.
Okay, you know, I don't, well, Barry got them.
Yeah, maybe Barry kept them all to himself.
Oh, that's it. He's always hogging those minutes. Liz, did you read the minutes?
No,
Okay.
I have to make sure that I got them as well.
Yeah, Lisa, did you read the minutes?
I abstained because I wasn't on the meeting.
Okay, that doesn't mean.
I was the next day, I was on the other meeting, but not on this
Okay.
meeting.
So we'll have
In
to, I
fact,
guess,
I wasn't at the last meeting myself
Okay.
because that was the first of my cataract procedures.
so it looks like only one of us has read the meeting, so I guess we'll have to push that to next month as well. Do we have any public participants this evening?
I am not seeing any.
Okay. So we're up to reports from boards and Diane Jellerette with the Norwalk Historical Society.
Good evening, everyone. We have been doing our virtual lectures since we had to go back to being masked and locked down a little bit, but it's been working out pretty well. We have an upcoming lecture tomorrow night, Beyond the Amistad, and we are partnering with Historic Rowayton, and it will be a lecture given by the Connecticut Historical Society, and this is in honor of Black History Month. So you have time. We actually have quite a few, we have like 75 people already registered for this particular lecture. So, and it's about African Americans who have been part of Connecticut throughout the years. So this is probably the second time we have done something with the Connecticut Historical Society, and thought it would be really interesting to find out what goes on in the rest of the state. And last month, we had the Childhood in Colonial America at the end of January. We're doing 2 more virtual lectures, one in March for Women's History Month, and it was going to be a lecture with Connecticut Women's Changing Democracy, and this is with the Connecticut Women's Hall of Fame, and we're going to be partnering with the Norwalk League of Women Voters on this particular lecture. And in April, we are going to be doing stuff for Earth Day. We're partnering with the steering committee that had done the Gratitude on the Green in November. And we're having a Earth Day of celebration, and many organizations around Norwalk will be participating, and it's going to be on the green. So look for the save the date on April 23rd. There will be a lot of activity around Earth Day on that day. And we're going to have our first in-person in May. Thank you, Eric Chandler, for recommending Kevin for a one-man show at the townhouse, and that will be May 21st. So look for information about that coming up. We've also, even though we had lockdown, we've been doing virtual tours of Mill Hill with the second grade class. And that's actually been working out really well because now they've moved knowing about Norwalk history into second grade from the third grade. But it's been working pretty well and in between snowstorms. So it really does work. And we're very pleased with our new exhibit. And it really, really works and really makes it easy to talk about Norwalk history. But that's what's going on right now. And Darren is doing a great job with our collection. She's going to talk about that later. So we're going to be busy coming up and having fun for the next, the rest of the year, hopefully. Any questions?
Sounds great. I have to remember to sign up for tomorrow's lecture.
Yep.
Talk, I should call it. Lecture sounds so
I know, it's a talk.
punishing. Okay, thanks, Diane. Next up, Lockwood Matthews Mansion with Susan.
Hello, everyone. First of all, the park signage, those didactic panels that were conceptualized by David Westmoreland and that you all supported, wanted to thank you very much. They are absolutely fantastic. They're a great enhancement for the mansion. I see tons of people because my office windows are right in front of one of the large signs, and I see tons of people stopping by, reading, really spending a certain amount of time looking at them. So they're really terrific. So thank you so much. And hopefully, and I'm sure it will happen, a lot of those people that are stopping by now, when we reopen for the season, will probably be more interested to coming in for a tour. We're finalizing the last few repairs this spring from Netflix, but that contract has been finalized in their final, we're going to be returning their payment, their $75,000 escrow money. There was a sinkhole right in front of the billiards room. Parks and Rec was really terrific. David called them up and they fixed it right away. So that was great. We had Norwalk's NCC came in for an in-person architectural tour, which was wonderful, about 12 students asking a lot of questions and spending a couple of hours with us. And we're looking forward to having them again. The spring is really going to be very exciting. We have a new exhibition opening called Fragments of Light, Impressions of Color. They're showing contemporary impressionists. It will open April 7. You're all invited to the reception that same day, which will start at 5:30 that evening. For children and doll collectors, we are opening a new exhibition, which will be permanent, of dolls, antique dolls and vintage dolls on the second floor in the Apricot Suite. On May 19, we will open a new exhibition titled Making It Last, Sustainable Fashion in Victorian America. exploring the upcycling philosophy of the Victorian era, production of clothing in Norwalk, compare today's fast fashion to then, and also bring up subjects that were quite controversial during the time, the use of fur and birds and feathers in Victorian couture. The exhibition will be curated by a luminary independent scholar named Lynn Bassett. She specializes in New England historic costumes and textile. And that will be paired with a lecture by Deborah Crack titled Victorian Couture, Dangerous Dyes and Murderous Millinery. Any questions?
I had a question about the Netflix damage to the mansion. What was that?
So the damage was really very minimal and repairable. One was a little peg that was a metal peg in the fire exit, which had fallen off. It needed to be replaced. A couple of the windows, the frames were slightly damaged and will be repaired by a conservator that we have used for other repairs at the mansion. But pretty much was the extent of the damage. They did when they packed things up, they did break a couple of globes, glass globes from one of the chandeliers that were replicas. They weren't, the antique, and they gave us the funding to purchase other replicas so that they can be mounted, and that also will be done shortly.
So overall, was it a good experience? Was it worth it?
It was a great experience. Financially, it was an amazing success. We did have to work very hard. I mean, starting from way back in the summer when we started meeting them and meeting the director and meeting or the designer, everybody on the project. But it was a lot of work during it, also because of COVID and all those restrictions. And my office, I had to give it away to Donald Sutherland.
Oh,
So yeah, I had to work from the kitchen, but all in all, it was, first of all, we're going to be able to use, because contractually they will allow us to use some of the PR that will come out from the movie next year. So we'll be able to do a special tour dedicated to people that are interested in seeing movie locations, and they're going to give us photos of the decor that they had installed for the movie. So it will be a success story that will continue, not just that happened, but will continue in the years to follow.
Great, thanks.
Can I jump in on the movie piece too? Because I was chairman during that, and the painting, the window issue, Tom, was they put tape on the window frame, and it pulled off the paint. When they took the tape off, it seared off the paint. So David Westmoreland has arranged to help us get that restored in the weather allows, and they prepaid for it. So they were really very conscientious, and it worked out, I think, really well for the city and certainly for the mansion. But as Susie said, it was an enormous amount of work for all of us that were involved. And on Friday, I do get to pick up the $75,000 that we had them give to the city of Norwalk to protect the building. I think this is important for you to know that we wrote that into the contract,
Mhm.
that there was an escrow account held by the city for any damage to the building. And that's being released through the attorneys on Friday. So
Gotcha.
that sort of finishes that up.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patsy and Tom. Oh, Doug has something to say. Unmute yourself. You must unmute yourself, Doug.
No, I
Okay,
just,
okay. He's so happy.
having Tom's seat many years ago as a council representative, Tom, I wanted to thank you especially for helping shepherd that contract through. I know you worked with Patsy on that, and I really appreciate the effort you went with that. And I always appreciate David's help. He is always a phone call away. David Westmoreland's an amazing person. He really is, all he puts in. But thank you all for do for the community. I really appreciate it. It's almost like old home week, because I think everybody but maybe one person that's on this commission now. So Eric, I like the music. Thank you. And just so joke. But really, thank you for your support and everything. It's a fabulous institution, and it wouldn't be that way without the Historical Commission's support, and much appreciated. And I hope in taking Patsy's position and all of the yeoman's work that she has done over the last 8 or 9 years, I can live up to her reputation. That's my goal. And that's it. Thank you. And yes, your
Thank you.
other item this evening, please protect our shoreline along the riverway. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't need large development. It needs those mom and pop boat yards, and thank you for all you do.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
I just want to bring up one other issue. We had talked to several of you about having David Scott Parker attend one of your meetings. We had hoped for tonight, but somehow we didn't get it together, to do a 12 to 15 minute PowerPoint history lesson on the building, on the mansion, and its experience in real lifetime and the influences it's had on major things in the country. So it's very interesting. It's we had him speak at our gala last year, and this would be scaled down, and we're going to be using this for presentations going forward. So we wanted to kick it off publicly with you people. So if we could get it on your agenda for next month, we'd really appreciate it.
Okay. That is March. Okay.
Yeah, what's the date, March?
Uh,
Well, it's the fourth Wednesday. I can look it up, no problem.
oh, I got it. March 23rd. Yeah, it should be the same date as today, because there's 28 days. Okay. I'll let Laura know. Unless, is Laura here? I don't think so. Okay, so we think we're done with the mansion. So on to reports for buildings is the first thing.
Not a ton to report. We are moving ahead with the low bidder for the small kitchen at the museum by City Hall, and that's going to go to land use this next Wednesday. I will be at the meeting, but fortunately, facilities management is shepherding the project through, which is great, and it'll be good to get that project going. The big ramp that we're building and all of the work outside between the barn and the jail, the contractor is on decent weather days, they're still working on that. And so hopefully we'll get that wrapped up in the very early spring. So I'm happy that they're working through the winter, at least trying to. So they've made a lot of good progress. So hopefully that project will come to close. I think that's pretty much it for the moment.
Okay, great. Cemeteries, I noticed Mr. Mushak did a lot of tree trimming at Pine Island, and I haven't been to the others lately. So, oh, I did notice the drive-by on the Kellogg is even from just driving by, you can see how nice it looks, nice and tight.
Yeah, he did a wonderful job, and he has started on the wall at Pine Island as
Okay.
well. So he's making progress. That should be done in another week or two. So it's all looking a whole lot better. So he was a real find.
Terrific. Next up is financial.
Not much to report. We're closing in on spending all the money for the year, which ends in June. It's going to be a tight because we are spending everything. Just shepherding the budget process through the capital budget looks good. Not sure the next step on that. We'll be getting money for the mansion, money for the cemeteries and the museum collection. Nothing for the jail, unfortunately, but the mansion project was the most important this year. So we're pushing that, and that has made the CFO's cut. Tom, has the mayor's recommendations come out? I haven't seen anything.
On the capital side, no.
I can't find anything on the city's website.
No, we just got through operating last night, so capital's a little bit away.
All right, so yeah, we're just waiting for the mayor's recommendation, but he's included the mansion money in the CFO's recommendation, so that's all good.
Okay, terrific. Do you have a twin brother? That would be great. Thanks, David. Now we're up to old business. Deaccessioning of Norwalk Historical Society items. We're doing, talk to Darren here. Where'd you go? Darren.
Right here.
Oh, there you are.
So I sent you the list last time. Nothing's changed. I've not added anything. We're just waiting for this initial list to be voted on. Eric, Liz, and Lisa all went through it with me. I won't speak for them, but they've seen it all. And all of the stuff that we're putting up for deaccessioning has no either known history, no provenance, or is not related to Norwalk. It was simply bought or given to the Historical Society as fill for the old city museum that had like an inventory section. So a lot of it really has no bearing on the collection whatsoever. Taking it out of the collection will not impact anything. We have nothing up for deaccessioning is of vital importance. It's a lot of
Can we
random
make a motion to take a vote, Dana, or?
I am one of those scofflaws who hasn't gone through the list yet. So,
Okay,
well,
And the other part of it was that anything that's going to be deaccession will be sold and the money would
Right.
go back to us.
correct.
Yeah.
And Lockwood Matthews Mansion wasn't interested in any of the teacups or anything.
So
Not for the
I had a long exchange with Mimi Finley.
Mhm.
And she was initially interested, but I have not heard back from her in a while, and I didn't want to continuously spam her. So I was planning to reach out to her once there was a vote where these things could be freely given if she wanted them.
Right, okay.
So before anything happens, I was going to reach out again. I just didn't want to continuously bother her.
Yeah, and with Lockwood Matthews, there would be the two sorts. There would be what was historic that they could use for their display
Mhm.
versus what would be the Victorian tea when they use lots of china and sets of cups and saucers and so anyway, that I'm
I
glad.
sent pictures of everything to Mimi, so she's seen it all.
Okay.
That went out late last year, that list, because it hasn't come through our curatorial committee, so we need.
I
to
think
take a look
I
at
thought
it
I
and get back to you.
CC'd you on it. I believe you were CC'd on it, but I'm happy to send you the list again. I think
Well,
it was
to get to
there was a link.
Susie and Doug, obviously, but we need to take a look at it and get back to
Sure.
you.
Yeah, sure.
So we need to move on with this. We're really trying to get this done.
Yeah.
I would suggest that if the commission could vote on this tonight, Dana, if you want to go by and look, and you will see there's nothing there.
Right.
But you can, if you see something, we can always put it back. And then
Right.
Darren can work with the mansion to decide whether they want anything. The city, it has to be a deaccession from the city collection anyway, before it would go to the mansion. So the vote tonight will just help us move this process forward. And I believe that the subcommittee was comfortable with everything on the list. So we'd really like to press on with this so we can.
Yes.
It's all currently being stored in the
collections.
kitchen.
Oh. Your kitchen? No, just kidding.
No, your kitchen. Not mine.
Okay. So we would
So,
like to.
so
Are you
how
making a
about,
motion?
I move that we accept the deaccessioning of the items on the inventory prepared by Darren Raymond.
Second.
Yeah, all right, well,
And do we have a second for that?
Barry
Oh,
seconded.
okay, Barry, okay.
Otherwise I would, yeah.
Okay, so all in favor? Or at least are you raising your hand or you just, that's a vote? I'm voting, okay.
I was voting.
Okay, I wasn't sure that was a correct.
Dana, I'd like
My
to,
other hand.
Dana, I'd like to abstain.
Okay,
Because I haven't seen any list, not that I'd be an
Right.
expert at all, but I just feel I can't vote on it.
I have faith, but I know I need to look at the list.
And I think we also just, Tom, we did offer some stuff to Rowayton Historical Society that I believe they're taking as well. So,
They're taking
okay.
all the miniatures and dollhouse.
I never hear anything at home, so who knows?
so we're spreading the love around.
Okay.
No,
I'm sure it's fine.
I knew there was a dollhouse, and I know I've been keeping my eye out over the years to look for stuff for the dollhouse. So when I saw dollhouse stuff, I thought, we're waiting.
There
you
you
know,
go.
Wendell has already graciously said she definitely wants it, so that's put
Great.
aside for her already pending deaccessioning.
So that is all in favor with one abstention, I think. It's
Correct.
Yeah.
Tom
okay,
abstained, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
Well,
that's,
that's two abstentions because Tom abstained as well.
okay. Two abstentions. Okay, next is, well, Laura isn't here, but we do need it. I'm a scofflaw. So a few of you have sent in your resumes and the rest of us need to do that, myself included, for the grant. Connecticut, I can't remember what the L stands for.
Local.
Local, yes. So we can get, okay, my brain just shut down again.
The certified local designation.
Certified local, okay. Yes, so that's important to get done. So we'll move on to new business, industrial waterfront study resolution discussion. And you've all read the letter, I hope, and saw the illustrations.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes,
Let's see, I just need to change one. Sea level doesn't need to be capitalized, but that's moot. at this point. Yeah, this is a big problem in this town, that view sheds are not considered for development purposes, during development purposes. So let's have a motion to vote. How do we feel about our letter to planning and zoning about the industrial waterfront land use study?
Okay, I took a look at it. I think, once again, David did a nice piece of work putting that letter together.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it was a great letter.
Yeah. Do we need to do a motion for this?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, so,
so
Who would
I
like
move
to-
that, I move that the letter be sent as written.
okay,
I'll second it.
okay, so now we'll vote. Ayes. And where's Barry? Barry, okay. I think that's, we are unanimous, right?
Yes.
For sending our resolution to planning and zoning about the waterfront use. We could use it, better use to the waterfront by protecting our view sheds. Okay, thank you. And next, is that about it? Do we have anything? Oh, David, do you want to discuss anything else about that?
Not about that, but I just did want to mention that the deadline for any comments back to the DOT on the documents that were sent out as a result of the meeting with the FDA on the January 27th are due on the archaeological dig at the Fort site. I am in letter writing mode the last couple of days, and I'm just about finished with a letter that I'm going to send on behalf of the Historical Society as a consulting party with the feedback. And the main comments, I just have this, I have 50 windows open on my screen right now. And I won't go through all of them, but the main ones were, if they said the site has been determined eligible for the listing on the historical register, will that listing be pursued? If so, by whom, when, and by whom? And then I asked that, it was interesting because there was only one reference that I found to pottery shards being found. And what I remember from the site visit is that they said they found thousands of pottery shards and that they had designs on them and that they would conclusively be able to tell the familial association of these indigenous peoples. And that's really, if we don't get anything else out of this, that's the main thing we need to know. So I've asked the question, I'm asking the question, can you tell us that sooner rather than later? And also highlighting it just to make sure it's not something else they're going to try to hide from us, or do we have to wait till the end of 2024? And I did throw in a snarky comment that the additional consulting tribes that they've added probably tells us the answer to that, but that's okay. And then I'm really hitting them hard on making sure that they have done appropriate archaeological testing on the north side of the train tracks opposite the archaeological site, because we know the fort extended beyond the train tracks, and we know basically the shape and the size of the fort because they found the 3 sections of the wall and it was circular, and you could tell by the trajectory of the circle. So I want to make sure that they've tested on the north side of the train tracks, and I'm pretty sure they haven't. And so I'm pressing that and a couple of other smaller things. I would suggest, I think Lisa Grant may have sent in some comments, but I would recommend anybody who wants to send in comments, please do, because more is better. And I will share the Historical Society comments with you guys. And if nothing else, if a couple of you could forward that letter to the DOT and say, yeah, we agree with this, or we like this thing out of it. Because it's just, you have more people asking the same question, and then they really are compelled to answer it. So anyway, and I'm going to have that out tomorrow because the feedback is due the 28th. So
Yeah,
I will
Monday.
copy all you guys tomorrow on it.
Okay, terrific. Any other comments? Okay, so let's make a motion to adjourn.
Moved. Why wait?
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, we're adjourned. See you next time.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone.
Sooner.
Okay, everybody
Thanks,
stay
everyone.
safe.
Yep. Thanks again.